thank you very much, Mr. Ahmadi, for being available for an interview at Alles Schall und Rauch. My first question to you is regarding the election of President Hassan Rouhani. What do you think will change in Iran, or has already things changed?
Well, Mr. Rouhani is a very well-known diplomat, and he knows exactly how to deal with foreign parties in terms of Iran's nuclear file. So I personally believe that regarding the nuclear issue and that the disputes raised by the United States and its allies regarding Iran's nuclear issue, I think that coming to office of President Rouhani will definitely change things in favor of resolving the issue. Not in the short term, but I hope within the next year or two, we're going to see some positive developments in terms of resolving Iran's nuclear issue. So that's on the international front. On the domestic front, I believe that the coming to power of a moderate administration with very well experienced ministers will definitely help the country's economy get back on track, and the current inflation will be tamed somehow through wisdom and planning by the new administration.
Mm-hmm. So you think there will be some positive changes in the future on international, internal level?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Now, there has been the news that there was an exchange of letters between the President Rouhani and President Obama. What do you think does that mean? Is that part of this entente that is happening?
Well, there have been changes of letters between the Iranian leadership and the American leadership over the past many years. So it's not something new. It happens. Mm-hmm. Because Iran is a regional superpower and the United States is a global superpower. So they have to exchange ideas. They have to talk to each other. They need to warn each other of different things. And they need to somehow consult on different matters. On the war in Afghanistan, as well as the war in Iraq, the United States and Iran were cooperating in certain fields in terms of intelligence, because the Taliban and Saddam Hussein were Iran's enemies as well. So there have been a lot of common grounds between Iran and the United States over the past many years, and the two governments have been in contact, though not officially, but via proxies, third parties, and it doesn't make me surprised if I see an exchange of letters are taking place between the two governments. It's something normal, and it has happened before, and I'm confident it will happen in the future as well.
Yes, we are here in Switzerland, and as you know, Switzerland is a kind of a go-between between the two countries.
Yeah, it takes care of the American interest section in Iran.
There has even been some talk that there could be a possible meeting between the two at the UN next week. So this is quite, if that is true, that would be quite a sensation, wouldn't it?
Well, the White House spokesperson, Jay Carney, said that America does not have such a plan. And he said that the U.S. government will be ready to work with the Iranian government, the new Iranian administration of President Rouhani, based on mutual respect, which is very much significant because this is the first time the Americans are talking about mutual respect.
Yes.
But a meeting between the two is not likely to take place. It's too early at this stage. First, minor contacts will have to be taking place between the two administrations, and I'm confident if time is right, and if both governments see it necessary for the leaders to sit down and talk about the issues of mutual interest and concern, they will definitely do that.
What do you think about the agreement between USA and Russia regarding Syria, and will that somehow touch Iran?
Well, the agreement has a positive and a negative point. The positive point is that it puts a stop to the war rhetoric by the United States and channels everything through some diplomatic system of bringing the chemical weapons in Syria under international control, and the United States would not attack Syria in return. Having said that, the negative point is that when Syria exposes all the locations and the details of its chemical program to the United States, it's kind of disarming Syria in the face of an unknown future. The insurgents are still attacking the Syrian government, and there are no guarantees for the Syrian government that if it gives up its chemical weapons, at the end of the day, what's going to happen to the government over there? So it's a tough situation for the Syrian government. If they give up their weapons, then they will be exposed to a threat by Israel, by the United States, which is very important because Israel does have nuclear weapons, but the United States does not talk about disarming Israel, and it only is focused on Syria. Regarding Iran, Iran always, as far as I can tell, Iran always supports any kind of initiatives in the region that might help, in one way or another, bring some sort of stability and peace to the region. Mm-hmm. So it is in Iran's interest that this region of this part of the world, this region, is seeing a lot of peace and calm and stability, and it is not in Iran's interest if a war takes place in this region. So it's essentially Iran supports all initiatives that will help bring stability to the region.
Do you think it is fair that the Syrian government is kind of saying that if they disarm that also and sign the chemical weapons treaty, that also Israel should do the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Israel is a threat to Syria, so it makes every sense that if Syria is supposed to give up its weapons of mass destruction, so Israel has to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's logical, it's rational, but unfortunately, the United States and its Western and Arab allies are not putting enough pressure on Israel to give up its weapons, and they're not only they're putting pressure on Israel, they're even supporting Israel's efforts to develop weapons of mass destruction. Israel used weapons of mass destruction against the people of Gaza, and used phosphorus bombs in the war on Gaza, but nothing happened. The United States, the British government, everyone just remained silent. They didn't criticize Israel for using weapons of mass destruction against chemical weapons against the people of Gaza, against women and children. So, technically speaking, there is this double standard being practiced by the United States, by the West, regarding Syria.
Well, we know that for a long time the West has done double standards regarding how treating Syria and Iran differently to the other Arab countries and also Iran. What do you think is the role that Saudi Arabia is playing? Because as far as I can see, they are playing a very big role regarding Syria.
Well, Saudis are pretty much afraid. They do not want the situation in Syria to be like the Syrian government wanting any kind of military, the battle militarily on the ground. Because if it happens, then all the money and all the resources that Saudis have put into this war will go to waste. So technically speaking, Saudi Arabia is supporting the insurgents, is giving them money, is giving them weapons, and it is trying to, not only in Syria, it is wreaking havoc, it is creating problems in the way of the democratic system in Egypt, in Tunisia. Saudi Arabia doesn't want any kind of democracies in the region to flourish, although Syria is not a democracy. But because Syria had close ties with Iran, and Syria was part of the axis of resistance against Israel, so the Saudis, which are the Arab stooge of the Israelis and the Americans, tried their best to eliminate Syria, the Syrian government, from the face of the earth and replace it with the Takfiri group, which is supported by the Saudi Wahhabists and Takfiri scholars. And they want the Syrian nation, they want to punish the Syrian nation for following a different path, for following a different faith. And that's what they're doing right now, but they haven't been able to do that. The Zionist lobby in the United States has been defeated by the Obama administration, and even the Saudis have been defeated. The whole history will tell exactly what happened, but from what I can see, the Zionist lobby has suffered one of its greatest losses in its short history.
That the war didn't go through now.
Well, yeah, because they pushed for a war and it never happened. Yeah. Remember, the United States president has every right to declare war, but President Obama did not declare war.
Right.
Why would he go to Congress? You know, why would he do that? He did it because he knew that the Congress will not vote for a war. Mm-hmm. And this statement by John Kerry, you know, it was not a misspeak. He just did said it intentionally, that if Syria gives up its chemical weapons, America is ready to rethink their military strategy and think about the possibility of not going to war with Syria. So he said it first, and then the Russians seized on it, the Syrians seized on it, the French seized on it, and everyone seized on the opportunity to raise the issue as a possibility of preventing the war. So that's what the Americans did. Right. It was John Kerry who said it first. So, I mean, it was like, you know, the Obama administration managed somehow to deceive the Zionist lobby. And because I personally believe that the Obama administration really didn't want to go to the war, they were being dragged into this war by Israel and Saudi Arabia. And now that the war is not happening, hopefully, the Zionist lobby has been defeated, that the Takfiri leadership in Saudi Arabia, they have been defeated, and things will definitely change in the region in the not too distant future.
Today, Monday, came out the report by the UN inspectors who confirmed that according to their analysis, sarin was used. And now there have been some reports that the terrorists, or the so-called rebels, did this attack, and that it even comes from Saudi Arabia. What do you think about that?
Well, the report, the UN report, was very much telling in terms of, it's very interesting when you put it in perspective, that the UN report touches upon very important issues. It talks about the use of more than 300 liters of sarin gas in that site held and controlled by the Takfiri elements. It says there were elements, individuals with suspected munitions who traveled the area before the arrival of the UN inspectors. And it says that, the UN report says that those individuals may have manipulated the scene of the attack, the chemical attack. And he says that those individuals came from those areas held by the insurgents. So that's very much telling in terms of the UN indirectly is saying that the crime scene has been manipulated by the insurgents, and those insurgents have put it in a way, have fabricated the story in a way that it shows like the Syrian government has been behind the attack. But everyone knows that the Syrian government would not do that. Would not do that because it's like committing suicide. When the United States says it's a red line, the Syrian government wouldn't do that. You know, it doesn't make any sense. But a false flag operation is exactly what has happened.
Yeah. There could even be the danger, some people are saying, that they will try another one just to get rid of this diplomatic initiative.
Absolutely. You know, it's possible. You know, the chemical weapons have found their way into their own hands. So, yeah, it is possible. They can do it. They can do whatever they want because they do not believe in any religions. You know, they're not Muslim. They're not Christian. They're not Jew. They're not nothing. You know, they just don't believe in anything. They are a bunch of killers. They're natural-born killers. And they want to kill people. They get paid to kill people. And just kill people. You know, it doesn't matter whether they kill a child, whether they kill a woman, whether they kill an old person or a young man. It doesn't really matter to them. They just kill.
Yeah,
they get paid and get killed. They get paid, kill and get killed.
Can you confirm, according to your knowledge, that some of these terrorists are prisoners that were released from Saudi prisons and told they have to go to Syria and fight? So they are murderers being released for this kind of work?
Well, actually, there have been reports that a lot of prisons inside Iraq and some other Arab countries have been
cleared up.
There have been incidents of people breaking into those prisons and taking out those prisoners. There have been jailbreaks, very suspicious jailbreaks, over the past few months, and some very dangerous Al-Qaeda operatives have found their way into Syria. There have been reports of that all over the internet. And yeah, why not? Saudis use those murderers as mercenaries to kill people and to advance Saudi goals in the region. Well, that makes sense. You know, they do it because they don't believe in anything. You know, it's just that the facade is Muslim, but they're not Muslim. In Islam, God says, if you kill a Muslim, if you kill an innocent person, sounds like you've killed the whole community of mankind. Mm-hmm. So that's huge, you know, when Islam says that. So these killers are not Muslim.
Right. Now, I want to also touch the problem that Press TV has. I mean, you have been under tremendous attack regarding censorship here in Europe. So my question to you is, what is the situation regarding broadcasting a Press TV program in Europe, and what are you doing against it?
Well, what can we do against it? Well, the European satellite companies, as well as YouTube, are putting maximum pressure on Press TV. They're trying somehow to silence Press TV. They're trying their best to do that. And we have tried some legal channels, but we haven't achieved anything so far. We're trying to try international channels as well, international courts, and we'll see what we can do. But at the end of the day, that's a violation of free speech. What they're doing to us is a violation of European laws and American laws, and it's as simple as that. We are being censored by the Europeans and by the Americans, and that's exactly what they're accusing Iran and other countries of. They're doing the same thing. So it doesn't make any sense. We haven't realized why they're doing that and why they're depriving their own people of a different opinion. They just want the narrative to be told by the mainstream media, controlled by the Zionist lobbies. And that's exactly what they want to do. And if there is this channel by the name of Press TV that says something different, they really get mad at it and they try to shut it down. That doesn't make any sense. That's against all the international norms, especially norms propagated by the Europeans and by the American government.
Right, exactly. I mean, and you see, you are completely right. They're only trying to sell their own story and not allowing any alternative news broadcasting.
Absolutely, yeah. They're afraid of that. They're afraid of alternative news.
I have the same problem, and many of my colleagues. My question to you is, I've been asked by many of my readers how can they view Press TV under these circumstances? Only through the live broadcast on the internet, or is there other means?
Yeah, there are several satellites, but the best way as we speak is the internet. So internet, on your mobile phones, you can download your, according to your mobile phone, you can download the apps on PressTV.com, and then you can use internet to access Press TV live with good quality. And then you have our YouTube channels. They've shut us down on YouTube 4 times by now, and God knows what happens tomorrow. So we are also available on Live Leak, available on IPTV and other platforms. Hopefully we're trying to expand our presence in the internet, and we'll see a greater presence of Press TV on the online media and the social networking sites very soon.
Now, my large audience in the German-speaking world, is there anything you want to tell them from the Iranian side? Because they are getting all the wrong information from the established media. What do you want to tell them?
Well, Iran is a civilized country. Iran has one of the greatest and one of the oldest civilizations of the world. Iranians are very well-educated people. And we are peaceful people. We haven't invaded any country for centuries. And we are after peace and security in this part of the world and in the whole world. So those media propaganda against Iran are meant to create this sort of world public opinion that is against a country. They want to do it because Iran doesn't listen to them. Iran doesn't listen to the Americans. Iran doesn't listen to the Europeans. And that's why they're mad at Iran, and they do not want Iran to become a normal member of the international community. They want to portray Iran as an abnormal member, irresponsible member, while there is no evidence to prove that Iran is an irresponsible member of the international community. Iran has always been a responsible member. Iran has always been contributing to science, contributing to development of the mankind from early stages of history up until this moment. Iranians have contributed to global peace and security, to global development of science and culture and technology, and everything coming from Iran have been well received in the West. And do not listen to the propaganda of CNN, BBC, Fox News, and the likes of them. They're just liars, a bunch of liars. They lie to you. They're selling you something that the Zionists have asked them to do. And watch Press TV, and you'll get the real story on Press TV. The voice of the voiceless. We are the voice of the voiceless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahdi.
Thank you.